Senator Lindsey Graham has known Joe Biden, who is now president, of course, for decades, and he has watched this evolution of the now president up close. Senator, always good to have you with us. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So obviously, we've laid out the very clear problem of crime across this country, and now the White House is in a position where they really need to confront it. What do you expect moments from now?
Well, I hope a recognition of the problem, but I think the Biden administration is really clueless. They're going after trying to take guns off the street, which is a fine thing to do. But the reason that the spike in crime is nobody's getting prosecuted when they go into Walmart and clean the place out. The people who robbed and looted in New York are being let go. There's a sense out there that the bail system is broken down. You get caught on Monday morning, you're out on Monday afternoon. And the FBI director said today, about 30 minutes ago, it's the hardest time that he can ever remember being a police officer. They're not respected, and there's nothing worse for a cop than to catch a bad guy and see them right back out on the street. So the Biden 5-point plan will not address the rise in murder and vicious assaults in this country. We have a lack of prosecution, and we've declared war on the police, and that is backfiring on those who have done it.
You know, it feels like there are sort of two different realities that are going on here.
Yeah.
The discussion that we're hearing about gun violence, which I always think is an interesting term. I mean, It's violence, no matter what weapon you happen to use. There are a lot of people getting hurt out there, and many people getting killed. Go ahead.
Yeah, ice picks. People are being stabbed. You have city parks being taken over with drugs. You have rampant shoplifting. You have brazen in the middle of the day attacks. You have a reduction in police capability. You have cops afraid to actually enforce the law because they may go to jail. So the liberal left has created this problem, and the Joe Biden of the 70s, who was tough on crime, no longer exists. Joe Biden today is kowtowing to the most radical people in this country on border security and crime.
Well, that's what I want to ask you about, because, we just played that soundbite, and granted, it's from a long time ago. People do change their thinking on things, right? But back then, his for 2 decades, he talked about how tough we needed to be on crime, lock the SOBs up. He said at one point, he said, I'm not really that interested in the sort of societal causes for why they do what they do. I just want to get them off the street. That's a paraphrase. So why has he changed so much, do you think?
Because the Democratic Party is pro-illegal immigration. What happened at the border between January and June? A 160% increase in illegal crossings because the Biden administration wiped out all the Trump policies that were working. They're basically rolling out a welcome mat for illegal immigrants to come by the hundreds of thousands. On crime, the modern Democratic Party is anti-cop. There's no other way to say it. The liberal left is the energy of the Democratic Party on policing and immigration, and Joe Biden is refusing to stand up to the left, and he's in denial about what the problems at the border really are. It's got nothing to do with the conditions in Central America. The Biden administration has gone to an open border policy. They changed all the Trump policies about remaining in Mexico, and when it comes to crime, they're declaring war on the cop and the prosecutor.
So, I can't help but think that there is one United States citizen who is watching all of this, right? And the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, and he's thinking, wow, this pretty much feeds into everything that I would need to run again, because people are not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy with rising crime rates. They're not going to be happy with what's going on at the border. Tom Friedman wrote this today: want to get Trump reelected? Dismantle the police. He says if people feel forced to choose security over democracy, concerns about stealing outside their door over stealing an election, beware. Way too many will choose Trump and his cult, writes Tom Friedman.
Well, I can say that democracy and security go hand to hand. I want to be free. I want to be able to vote. I want to be able to pick my leaders. But I'd like to take my family and walk downtown without getting stabbed. So I talked to President Trump for a long time last night. He is dismayed and disgusted with what's happened at the border. They've done away with the Remain in Mexico policy. They've gone back to catch and release when it comes to the asylum program. And he's just blown away at how they've mishandled this in terms of crime.
Is he going to run again? Is that what he said to you last night?
Every day, Joe Biden is making Donald Trump look smarter. every day that goes by, you appreciate the Trump policies on policing and border security and on economics. So I told the president that your policies will stand the test of time, and Joe Biden's policies are going to lead to a reemergence of the Republican Party in 2022 and a retaking of the White House in 2024, because Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, he's going to take a moment in just a little while to try to put that, fix that message a little bit. We'll see if he succeeds. I think it's also very interesting that part of this is to have federal law enforcement help local law enforcement, which is exactly what Operation Legend tried to do. Successfully did, actually. Took 6,000 people off the street. So we'll revisit. Senator, always good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.